Would you say you're addicted to gaming?
I'd say, well, not really. I play it a bit, but addicted, don't think so, no.
How many days a week would you say you play video games?
Every day after school, so. Then Saturday and Sunday, of course, but yeah,
Okay.
quite a lot.
Can you name me a few games that you play?
Black Ops 2, Bad Company 1, Battlefield Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 4, Manhunt, Red Dead.
Does this affect your relationship with family and friends?
I don't really speak to them much, but seems alright, I guess.
Oh!
God, I suppose.
Would you say you get out a lot?
Depends what a lot is. Go to school and stuff, so you know, out other than school, not really much to do though. No one invites me out, so can't blame me.
Do you get the recommended hour a day exercise?
That.
Okay. Would you say this is affecting your well-being, education, diet, etc.?
I don't bunk school and stuff, so guess not. Really?
No? Diet?
Whatever's quick, so you could say that, yeah.
So little microwavable meals.
Not even that, just crisps and stuff.
Can't keep you away from the game then?
Not really. I like to play instead.
Got anyone on here which I'm playing with? So.
Let's see that.
Oh, you twitch.
What's your views on game addiction?
Sorry. It's sort of sad.
Sort of sad?
Well, you know, it's just like you need to get out of it and that, do stuff,
Would you
do everything, really, you know.
But isn't what you're doing now unsociable?
Not really. I want to sort of like speaking to the team, tell them where I am and stuff.
What team?
Internet guys, you know. GN Webster 12,
Nice.
LA Legend 22, X Joshy 210. All lads.
Guess so. Do you believe gaming could influence kids to enact extreme violence or in some cases murder?
No, well, I think so, because while you're playing COD, you know, you get a lot of loudmouth chavs on there and stuff. Like all the kids and stuff who like 10 years old, they're all like giving it all this.
And then what?
All the lit, you know, all the I've f***ed your mum and stuff and all that load of shinizzle. And then, you know, when they're 10, they're still like probably in secondary, not even that, primary school, you know, struggling to get past their maths and stuff, and you know, it's just when they grow up, they're gonna probably take that to the outside, think they're all hard, and then they'll probably end up getting beaten up themselves, really. But you know, if you give them a gun, they'll sort of like shoot them. They won't just give it all that.
Would you consider yourself being hard?
Of course.
People might view your business clientele as quite nerdy teenagers, but from what I have seen, it's a place where people come to socialise, have fun and play games. And actually, some fully grown men of high status come here too. Do you think your place can change their views?
Yeah, certainly. I think gaming's always got the stigma of being a nerdy thing. Again, I think it's a generational thing. It's you know, when I was a kid, my parents, and they didn't understand what we did, and it was, you know, it was a geeky thing or whatever. But I don't, you know, the word geek just means someone's passionate about a particular element or a game or whatever it's going to be.
I want to hit straight out there. What is your views on game addiction and gaming influence on children?
There's a lot said about it in the press. I think there's a very positive influence on children. There's a lot of aspects that get ignored when you look at gaming. There's a big social aspect around gaming, be it on live or like somewhere like here, where people interact with each other. Addiction, I wouldn't class it any worse as any other thing. People get addicted to, you know, sport, football. There's lots of ways you deem addiction. Of all my years doing this and being a gamer, I've come across very, very few people that are addicted in the correct sense of the word to gaming, so that they can't go a day without gaming. People like to do it because it's a social thing, and they like to interact with things. And I think sometimes game addiction I think that it's a very broad scope term for what is in effect just a general everyday social activity for most people.
So nowadays you see articles with headlines: teenager dies playing to many video games, or boy plays 18 hours straight. Who do you think is ultimately responsible? Parents, video game publishers, or is it just the media over-exaggerating?
I think a lot of that is the media over-exaggerating. I think it's a deeper question than perhaps a lot of people realise. I think it's general society. It's a lack of wanting to take responsibility. Rightly or wrongly, my personal opinion is it is, if a child is playing a game that is rated 18 and they're 17 or 16 or 15 or 12 or 10, it's the responsibility of the parent. It's not the publisher's responsibility. Or at the end of the day, they've made a game. The content is clearly displayed, and as is the age rating. For any parent to turn around and say, you know, it's not fair, or attempt to sue publishers, which they have done in the past, I think is, you know, an abdication of blame. I don't generally think games make you go crazy. There are studies that are out there that say that, you know, games can make you feel more aggressive. But it's the same sort of aggression you get if you're playing football or anything else that's competitive. I've been playing video games for a few years. You know, since I was probably 12. I've played games that were beyond my age rating. I played Doom when it came out. I played all those games. I watched films as well. I don't believe they have an influence on me. I do believe a huge part of that is on the upbringing of the individual. In terms of people not going out and, you know, playing 18 hours a day, and, you know, you get a lot of that in, you know, in these gaming cyber cafes in like Korea and stuff like that. Again, I think it's more of a cultural thing or more of a social thing for that individual, and that person's probably got more deep-rooted problems than video games. And where video games become his only positive or their only positive outlet, maybe they can't socially interact with other people, maybe they're being bullied. A lot of these things you don't hear about. It's the headlines that grab and make news. And unfortunately, sadly for those individuals, I think their actual true story as to why they were, you know, they gamed so long and didn't want to leave the virtual world. There's more beyond it. The fact it was a game, it was more on what they didn't want to face in the real world, and that should have been a problem they were addressing rather than it was a video game.
So Tom, what are your views on gaming addiction?
I believe it exists, but I don't actually think it's that much of an issue. There's like bigger issues in gaming at all.
You don't know anyone that's really addicted to gaming?
No, I don't actually.
You don't know anyone that's caused them to do anything?
No.
I mean, you're happy playing this at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty happy.
Exactly. So, and there's far more worse addictions out there.
Yeah, there's definitely worse addictions.
Exactly. Right, Tom, so what game are you playing here?
I'm playing Fable 2 at the moment.
And what's this about?
It's about a quest. You start off as a young child and you end up becoming the king at the end of the game. So it's based in a fantasy setting.
Nice. What certificate would you say it is?
It's a 16.
Okay, that's decent. Right, do you think this game influences you in any way?
Not really. It's just mainly just stress relief.
Stress relief?
Yeah.
Alright.
But it's I think a lot of it is stop looking for the quick fix or the answer that will pacify everyone, you know. It's games that are doing this. Before games, it was films, you know. and it's society doesn't want to look in on itself. No one does. You don't want to look at yourself and look at your own faults. So I would say, come along, see the positive side of gaming, what it can do. See how it helps people interact. See how it helps physically disabled people enjoy a level of freedom they could never get. So come along and see that, and have a balanced view on what gaming can do, rather than just saying, oh, you know, something bad's happened, and he walked past the shop and there was a game playing, and that's what did it. Because it really isn't that.
Are you addicted to gaming?
No. Nice rap.
And again, to counteract the media, do you feel the need to kill anyone today?
Are you joking? No!
Exactly.